Welcome to the Witchy Work Wishes podcast, a place to find your weekly inspiration for bringing your personal witchcraft practice into your business, work, and office. Welcome to Witchy Work Wishes. I am your host, Charlene, and today I am diving into something that I think we've all felt at one point or another. How being thankful has become a little cliche. Now, before you throw your pumpkin spice latte at me, hear me out. I'm not saying gratitude isn't important. It is. It absolutely is. But somewhere along the way, it feels like we've turned thankfulness into a performance. It's something we check off of a list rather than something we deeply feel. So today, I'm talking about how to reclaim gratitude and make it personal, meaningful, and real. Because let's face it, gratitude is more than a perfectly filtered Instagram post or, a cookie cutter list of blessings. It's messy, it's raw, and it's deeply human. First, though, I do like to pull just a couple things I did over the weekend to help in my own personal craft, as well as some quick housekeeping items for Witchy Work Wishes. Now, the website has been updated, and the merchandise store is up and running on it. Shopify did shut me down because of the Moonface gummies, so I have my own platform now for, selling merchandise right on the Witchy Work Wishes website. I did recently add 2 witchy items that are deeply, deeply personal. I have cat claws and cat whiskers for sale that have come from my own personal cats. Now, I know this is, it can be important in your spell work, and since I have some extras, I added them to be available to you too. Now, my cat's whiskers are certainly limited. They do not shed often. I use both whiskers and claws in a bunch of my spells. So these are coming directly from a witch's home, from my cats. So that will add another layer, onto your own workings. So if that is something that you need, head over to the merchandise page. I also have started pulling and working on the December energy for our Patreon group. I'm really excited about how this holiday month is shaping up for us. Over on Patreon, you get the card pull, you get journal prompt, the journal prompt worksheet, and you get a spell that all focus on the energy and direction of the card. Now, it's been a pretty good system the past couple of months, but let me know how you are liking it too. Now, for my own card draw, I wanted to give myself a moment to, grab my own energy for the week of Thanksgiving. And, this last week in November of this magical 2024 year. So I have had a bunch of spiritual growth this year, and I wanted to just take a moment, ask about winding down November, heading into the holidays, and heading into the cold months, the dark months, the slower months. Now, I went back to my Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck by Kim Kranz, who has the deck broken out by elements. Air, fire, water, earth, and spirit. And I actually drew a spirit card that she calls the Cosmic Egg. Happens to be the actual last card in her deck. It's about completion, harmony, and being infinite with the finite. So it's a beautiful card, you guys. It's if I can describe it the right way, it's a colorful egg that's in the center of the card with a snake wrapped perfectly around it, and it spirals up. So I'll read her description. She says, the Cosmic Egg is the final card in the journey of the Animal Spirit deck, and it represents the unfolding of cosmic consciousness. This state emerges after we have tread the path for quite some time, and through self-effort and grace, we experience self-realization. A sense of contentment and oneness spontaneously arises within us, and the veils of our self-limiting beliefs are limited. When the essence of the cosmic egg has not been activated, we may feel as if we never get there, or that we travel alone, disconnected from others. Even if our encounter with this card is brief, appearing as a momentary glimmer or flash of interconnectedness, its potent energy stays with us. The cosmic egg is a remedy for the fragmentation of modern life. It's through the power of this card that we are reminded of the cosmic contract written at the beginning. We hold on to life and life holds on to us. The journey is complete, but it does not end. The cosmic egg in the seventh chakra? Well, the subtle essence of the cosmic egg resides at the crown chakra at the top of the head. One of the aims of yoga and meditation practice is to channel energy from the base of the spine upward towards this chakra. And each of the lower 6 chakras plays an important role along this journey. Once the final experience of consciousness is activated, it is said to radiate the light of 1,000,000 suns. I thought that was beautifully written, and it goes so well with the actual image of the egg and the snake on the card. And I have to say, you know what? If you listen to my guest spot on Annika's podcast last week, you'll hear about my Hecate dream a couple weeks ago, where I literally got the most powerful, glowing rush with a stag. I have done a lot of work with key magic this month too, and to wrap it up with a snake, an egg image, and the guidance of this cosmic egg, the final card in this deck, I don't know. It just seems perfect. It seems right. And stuff like this, you guys, it fuels me with those little breadcrumbs I talk about, the little signs that, hey, girl, you're doing exactly what you should be doing. And that feels powerful. All right. Speaking of Annika's podcast, Between Two Worlds, we actually continued the interview after talking about Hecate last week, and we recorded another spot that I think is coming out this coming weekend on Sunday. I believe her episodes are every other week. But anyhow, this next one is deeply, deeply personal. We talk about the journey of being a witch, what were some pivotal moments in propelling the journey forward, and it's just good chit-chat between two friends about our craft. So take a peek this coming weekend for the second guest spot that I have with Annika on her podcast called Between Two Worlds. All right, being a thankful witch. Is being thankful feeling a little cliche? It can, right? Now today I'm diving into the messy, real side of gratitude and how to make it personal. I've got tips, reflections, and honestly, I've got a little gratitude exercise just for you on this episode of Being a Thankful Witch. Every year, as the leaves turn crisp and the air fills with the scent of cinnamon and pumpkin spice, a chorus of "I'm thankful for something" echoes across social media, across our family dinner tables, and our workplace potlucks. It's a tradition as predictable as turkey on Thanksgiving. And while I can appreciate the sentiment behind, gratitude, let's be real, right? Being thankful has become painfully cliche. Don't get me wrong. I believe in gratitude. I believe in pausing to reflect on the good things in life, finding silver linings, and, in acknowledging the people and the moments that bring us joy. But what gets under my skin is the performative nature of it all. It feels like gratitude has been co-opted by, like a societal obligation. It's been watered down into an annual ritual where we trot out the same tired phrases. I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for my health. I'm thankful for this meal. It's a script. It's not a feeling. When did it become so formulaic? I have an idea of when, I think at least. It was when we decided it was something to prove to others rather than something to embody for ourselves. Social media has taken the concept of thankfulness and turned it into a competition. The perfect gratitude post with a photo of a perfectly arranged dinner table or a smiling family in matching outfits. It's less about truly feeling grateful and more about curating a moment that looks like gratitude. It's exhausting, and frankly, it feels hollow. And then there's the pressure, right? If you're not visibly grateful, people start to look at you sideways. Oh, you didn't post a list of what you're thankful for this year? Must mean you're bitter. Must mean you're ungrateful, or, oh my gosh, heaven forbid, unhappy. It's as if gratitude has been commodified, reduced to a bullet point on a checklist for being a decent person. But real gratitude is not something you showcase. It's something you live, right? Don't you guys think that? Like, it's not an Instagram post. It's how you treat the people around you, how you hold on to the small, quiet joys of your day, and how you give back. How you give back without expecting applause. What's worse, this cliche version of being thankful oversimplifies life's complexities. What about the people who are struggling to feel grateful? What about those who are grieving or battling illness or honestly just trying to keep their head above water? You know, for them, the pressure to be thankful can feel suffocating. And gratitude, in its best form, should be a gift you give yourself, not a burden you carry because the world expects it. All right, so here's my truth. I'm done with the cliche of being thankful. I'm done with the hollow proclamations and the forced gratitude post. Instead, I want to focus on what gratitude really means to me. It's the quiet moments when I pause to appreciate, you guys are gonna laugh, like my morning coffee, to appreciate like the warmth of a hug from someone I love. That just makes me want to cry right there. Honestly, I miss my boys. So we're coming in, I get to see them again soon, but that's it, right? The warmth of a hug from someone you love, like that delay hold that they just held on a second longer. They really want you to know, like, I love you, I appreciate you. It's little things like that. Or, the satisfaction of completing a project that I have poured my heart into. It's messy, it's imperfect, and it's deeply, deeply personal. So it's not always public, right? And doesn't always look pretty, but it is real. So that is what I want to focus on this episode. The real aspect of being grateful, the personal one. So let's just start with the elephant in the room. Why does it feel so cliche? I don't know, every year, right? Especially around this time. I think it's because the internet is flooded with posts saying, I'm thankful for my family, I'm thankful for my health, I'm grateful for whatever. And while those things are beautiful, right? They really are. I am thankful for my family. How often do those expressions feel genuine now? Sometimes it seems like we are saying it because we're supposed to, not because we really mean it. Social media has amplified this in so many ways. Gratitude has become, about what we show the world instead of what we feel in our hearts. And honestly, the pressure to perform thankfulness can take away its magic. And gratitude isn't always easy, is it? Like, life isn't all sunshine and roses. Some of us are struggling, maybe with grief, financial challenges, or just the everyday exhaustion of trying to keep it all together. And during those times, the last thing you want to do is sit down and write out a gratitude list. But here's the thing. Gratitude does not have to be big or obvious. It does not have to ignore the hard stuff. In fact, the most powerful gratitude often can come from finding those little itty-bitty glimmers of light, even on your darkest days. So how do we move away from the cliche and make gratitude personal? I do have some thoughts on this, and I did write down some ideas that have worked for me, so I'm hoping that they will inspire you to try something new too. I've got 4 of them. First one is keep it private. If it's a gratitude journal, whatever you need to do, keep it private. Do not share with the world. This is just for you. Write down one thing, something simple each day that made you smile or feel at peace. Second one is just focus on those little small moments. Gratitude doesn't have to be about big life-changing events. It can, right? We're not ungrateful for those, but it can be as simple as, I know I mentioned my coffee, but your morning coffee, the way sunlight hits your favorite plant. Like, stop when you see that and it makes you smile, just stop, pause, and recognize it. Third one is to create some type of ritual with it. This can be, again, super, super small and simple. Light a candle, pull a card from your oracle deck, or, say a small little prayer or something, some type of thanks before you go to bed. Make gratitude a part of your own personal spiritual practice. And the fourth one is to be honest. It is okay to say, I'm grateful I made it through today. Gratitude doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be real. All right, let's try something together. I have a little exercise. Take in a deep breath and then let it out real slowly. We can do that practice. I had a couple of podcast episodes before. Breathe in for a count of 5 and let it out for a count of 5. So breathe in, hold it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now think about one thing that you're grateful for right now. Don't overthink it. Just let it come to you. Is it a friend who texted you today? Maybe it's that you finally remembered to water one of your plants. Hold that thought for a quick moment. Feel the gratitude settle in your chest. That's it. That's what personal thankfulness feels like. It's quiet, it's intimate, and it is yours. All right, now as a witch, I've always believed that magic begins with intention, with our intention. And what more powerful intention is there than gratitude? In a world where so much of our energy is spent wanting, right? Wanting more time, more success, more clarity, gratitude reminds us of what we already have. It is grounding, it's empowering, and dare I say, a little magical. But for a witch, gratitude isn't just an idea, it's a practice. It's something we can weave into our spells, our rituals, and even our daily routines. So for me, gratitude is both an offering and a spell in itself. It's a way to honor the universe, the earth, and all of the energies that surround us. And when done with intention, it amplifies the magic that we've already created. And I'll admit, right, incorporating thankfulness into my practice wasn't something I did maybe naturally at first. Like many, I saw gratitude as something you expressed at the dinner table or, scribbled into a journal when life was going particularly well. It wasn't until I started looking at gratitude through the lens of witchcraft that I realized how powerful it truly can be. One of the simplest ways I've brought gratitude into my craft is by beginning and ending most days, not every day, but most days, with a small acknowledgement of what I'm thankful for. I keep a gratitude candle on my altar. It's a specific candle just for this. It's a little white pillar one that I've charged with the intention of thankfulness. In the evening, I light it, I take a deep breath, and I say aloud like one thing that I'm grateful for. Again, is it every evening? No, but I try to do it often. It could be as big as the love of my family, or as small, honestly as small as the way the sunlight filters through my window. Like it's little things. But by doing this, I'm setting a tone of appreciation before I head off to sleep. And it's like priming the magical pump, right? Reminding myself that the universe has already provided so much. And gratitude has also become a cornerstone of my spell work. Whenever I cast a spell, whether it's for abundance, protection, healing, I try to include a moment of thanks. And sometimes it's as simple as thanking the elements or my spirit guides for their presence. Other times, it's going to be a deeper, more intentional offering. For example, when I do like a prosperity spell, I don't just focus on what I'm hoping to gain. I take a moment to reflect on the abundance I already have. I might write down, like a list of the ways I've been supported, whether financially, emotionally, maybe spiritually, and then place it beneath my candle. It's that little reminder that magic isn't about asking, it's about appreciating. Another way, that I've embraced gratitude, honestly, is through offerings. For me, gratitude and giving go hand in hand. If the earth provides me with herbs for a spell, I give back by leaving a small offering of water, or you guys know I love my crushed eggshells. But something for the soil. If my tarot deck gives me clarity for a reading, I cleanse it. I leave a little piece of amethyst nearby as a thank you. Do I do this every single time? No, I don't want you guys to think I'm like just killing it every single time I do it. But I don't. I don't do it every time. But sometimes I do. These acts may seem small, but they really are deeply meaningful when I take the time for them. And they remind me that my practice is not a one-way street. It's a relationship. And like any relationship, it thrives on appreciation. Now, gratitude is not always easy. There are times when life feels heavy, and finding something to be thankful for can feel impossible. It's during these times that I think shadow work can really come into play. We can sit at our altars, light some incense, pull a card from our oracle decks, whatever you need to do. Like, instead of asking, what should I do though? We can ask the question, what can I be thankful for right now? It's really a way of shifting our perspective and, finding light even in the darkest moments. And sometimes the answers might surprise us, right? Gratitude doesn't have to be for the obvious or the joyful. It can be for lessons learned, for maybe resilience found, right? Or even the opportunity to start over. The phases of the moon, I think, can also be a beautiful way to incorporate gratitude into witchcraft. I'm biased on this one. I definitely like lunar magic, but if you are a seasoned listener, you really do know how important lunar magic is in my practice. But during the full moon, I focus on abundance and celebration, thanking the universe for everything that has come into fruition. I might write a letter of gratitude to the moon herself, and then burn it in a ritual fire, and let the ashes carry my thanks right up into the night sky. On the new moon, gratitude takes maybe a quieter tone. It's a time for introspection, for thanking myself for the seeds that I am planting, and the courage it takes to start anew. Gratitude definitely is not always loud. It can be whispered in the dark, a soft promise to keep moving forward. For me, gratitude has become, I think, one of the most magical tools in my practice. It's not flashy. It does not require fancy ingredients or elaborate rituals. It is powerful though, and the power is undeniable. Gratitude shifts energy. There's no argument there. It opens doors. It reminds us that magic isn't just about creating change. It's also about recognizing, the beauty that already exists. And let's throw some work stuff in here too, and talk about being a thankful witch at the office. Now, as a witch navigating the corporate world, I've come to see my magical practice as more than just a spiritual pursuit. It's a lifeline. And let's face it, the corporate environment isn't exactly a haven for mindfulness or gratitude. It's a realm of endless meetings, tight deadlines, and an ever-present pressure to perform. But even here, amidst the chaos of emails and conference calls, there is room for thankfulness. In fact, I found that bringing gratitude into the corporate world isn't just possible, it's transformative. So I struggled to keep my witchy practices separate from my work life. And while I saw the office as a place where, magic probably should not reach originally, where logic and competition reigned supreme, I realized that gratitude, one of the most grounding aspects of my craft, could be a bridge between these two worlds. I honestly have spent much of the past 3 years bridging this very gap. Even created, a podcast, this podcast devoted to having a balance between the corporate world and my witchcraft practice. And gratitude has the power to shift energy. It's not just on a personal level at home, but within our entire spaces. And the corporate world certainly can use a little of that magic. Now, one of the simplest ways that I've brought thankfulness into my work is by creating small, little intentional rituals. Each morning, before I open my inbox and dive into the day's to-do list, I take a moment to ground myself. At my desk, I have a small crystal, I have a black crow feather, and, oh my God, I literally just heard Annika and Liz laugh out loud. Okay, maybe not just one crow feather. I have a huge bowl of crow feathers in my office. There's mourning dove feathers, there's scrub jay feathers, and honestly, any feather that has ever been gifted to me by wildlife at the office is there. So let's call it what it is. I have feathers, but they remind me of being thankful, of being grateful. I try to quickly think of maybe like 3 things I'm grateful for, specifically though related to work. Sometimes it's easy, right? A supportive colleague, a productive meeting, or an opportunity to learn something new. Other days it's harder. It really is, but I still find something, even if it's as simple as having my favorite pen on hand, or honestly, the fact that I get to own a business, that I myself am a corporation. So this ritual helps me start my day with intention. It reminds me that even in a high stress environment, there are moments of lightness and connection to hold onto. Now, meetings are often a source of tension in the corporate world, but I've learned to approach them as opportunities for gratitude. Now, before meetings, again, not every meeting, but a lot of meetings, I take a moment to silently thank the people I'm about to interact with. I don't say it out loud. There's no need to raise eyebrows, but I visualize a ripple of gratitude moving outward from me to the group. When appropriate, I definitely say, openly express thanks and say thank you. If a team member presents an idea or contributes to the conversation, I really want to make a point to acknowledge their effort. Gratitude has a way of softening edges, of creating this atmosphere where people feel seen and valued. That is important. It's not just about being polite, always nice, but it's not just about that, right? It's about weaving connection and collaboration into the fabric of the workplace. And let's be honest, corporate life definitely can feel like an endless grind. There are days when gratitude feels out of reach, when deadlines loom and tensions run high. But even in those moments, you guys, I found that leaning into thankfulness on some form or fashion, on some level, can be grounding. When I'm feeling overwhelmed, I use small, magical practices to shift my energy. I might take a break to brew a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, stirring it clockwise while silently thanking the elements for their calming presence. Or I'll step outside for a few minutes, right, just to feel the wind, the sun, something on my skin, and just thank the earth for its grounding energy. These acts don't erase stress, but they do remind me that I'm part of something larger, something steady and unchanging. If you guys do, just a quick plug, if you guys do ever feel overwhelmed, I've got a great episode called The Overwhelmed Witch. I think it's called The Overwhelmed Witch, maybe Being Overwhelmed. I did have it somewhere in spring or summer. I'll put it in the show notes of what episode that is, but I do try to go through the signs and some techniques to help us when we are feeling overwhelmed. But back to being thankful and grateful. As a witch, I've also learned to incorporate gratitude into spell work that is aimed specifically at the workplace. Before a big presentation, or maybe before I start a big project, I will often create a tiny little charm, like a little piece of paper with symbols of success and appreciation, that I keep in my pocket or under my keyboard. Sigil magic works great here, but I do something, I charge it with gratitude for the opportunity to share my ideas, and I visualize the positive impact that my work might have. Even in performance reviews where nerves, oh my gosh, they run super high, or they can, I try to approach the conversation with a sense of thankfulness. I silently thank my past self for the work that I put in, and I open myself up to feedback as a way to grow. Gratitude helps me reframe the narrative, right? Instead of dreading these moments, I see them as chances to learn and evolve. Now, one of the most powerful things I've done is quietly encourage a culture of gratitude within my team. I'm not waving wands. I am not chanting spells in the break room, although wouldn't that be fun? But I've introduced simple practices that foster appreciation. I definitely like to take moments and acknowledge, success. I definitely like to say thank you to colleagues for their help. And a new one that I want to start is, hi, Ragnar. Hi. You want to come help? Ragnar wants to help with gratitude. Well, there's something. I am thankful for Ragnar. Hi, baby. All right, but something I want to start at the office is a little gratitude board. It's some type of space, just like a bulletin board, but a space where anyone can leave notes of appreciation. I think these little small gestures potentially can ripple outward and really create an environment where people feel seen, that I see you moment, but where people feel valued and supported. So bringing gratitude into the corporate world isn't about grand gestures or dramatic changes. It's about small, what I would say consistent acts of thankfulness that shift the energy of the space. As a witch, I know that magic isn't always flashy, right? Sometimes it's as simple as a whispered, thank you, a moment of quiet reflection. By weaving gratitude into my work life, I've not only made the corporate grind more bearable for me, I've made it more meaningful. And gratitude reminds me that my work is part of a larger web, that the connections that I build and the energy I bring to the table matter. And in a world that often feels cold and impersonal in the corporate world, it's a magic worth cultivating. Just remember that your magic belongs there too. Let gratitude guide your steps, soften your challenges, and hopefully create wonderful ripples of change in even the most unexpected places. All right, I would love to hear from you guys. How do you do it? How do you make gratitude personal? Are there rituals? Do you have practices or moments that bring you closer to that feeling of thankfulness? Send me a voice message, send me a DM on Instagram, tag me on social media, wherever you are, with your thoughts. I really do honestly want to hear how you are making gratitude more personal. Let's start a conversation about real, meaningful gratitude. All right, well, I do have a poem for you today. If you would like to stay with me, I will go grab it along with our moon update. All right, let's start with the poem first. And it is specifically about being a thankful witch. And it goes. By moonlight glow and candles flame, a thankful witch calls life by name. For every joy, both great and small, she weaves her thanks into it all. The morning dew, the songbird's tune, the quiet glow of the crescent moon, the swirling winds, the autumn leaves, she whispers thanks for all she sees. Her cauldron bubbles, her herbs ignite, she casts her spells with pure delight. But before her magic takes its flight, she bows her head to honor the night. Thank you, earth, for roots that grow, for rivers flow and fires glow, and thank you, air, for breath so sweet, for every step beneath my feet. Her grimoire holds no greater spell than gratitude she knows so well. For every blessing her heart will sing, for gratitude fuels everything. Through shadowed paths or sunny days, she walks with thanks in all her ways. A witch who knows with every thread to bless the living and the dead. So when you hear her cloak and hat, remember where her magic's at. Not in the wands or broomsticks twitch, but in her heart, a thankful witch. All right, let's see. The moon is finishing up her waning phase as this airs and will be a dark moon on the 30th. Now, if you listen to my guest spot over on Annika's podcast called Between Two Worlds, you know what I am doing with Hecate this day of November 30th. The fact that it falls on a Saturday and lines up with the dark moon phase, it was meant to be. But what are some options for us during a waning moon and dark moon phase? All right, during the dark moon phase, when the moon is nearly or completely invisible in the night sky, a witch can engage in a variety of practices that align with our introspective, transformative, and grounding energies of this time. This phase is perfect for shadow work, for endings and, preparing for the new beginnings. All right, shadow work and introspection. We can focus on journaling, meditation, and divination here. Explore hidden thoughts, fears, and unresolved emotions. Write about what you are ready to release or uncover. Sit in silence to connect with your inner self. Use this time to identify areas of your life that may need healing or some closure. And then use tarot, oracle cards, or even runes to gain insights into your subconsciousness and maybe some upcoming challenges and opportunities. This can be a great time for banishing and releasing rituals. For banishing spells, we're going to be removing negative energies, bad habits, or toxic influences from our lives. We can write what we wish to release on a piece of paper, burn it safely, and then scatter the ashes outside to symbolize letting go. This is also a good time for cord cutting rituals. Cut energetic ties to people, situations, or emotions that no longer serve us. And then for cleansing and protection, I think we can clear our space, we can cleanse our space, and we can protect it. To cleanse your home or sacred space with smoke is a good one. Sound, I love the act of using sound, or even salt, but something to remove stagnant energy. Take a ritual bath with herbs like rosemary, lavender, or some black salt to purify your energy field and cleanse it. And then cast spells or create protective charms to shield yourself from negativity as you prepare for the new lunar cycle. Dark moon is a good time for rest and renewal. It's about pausing and reflecting and potentially some dream work. Now, this is really a time for stillness, for rest. Avoid overly complex rituals right now or the high energy magic. Instead, I would focus on grounding and rejuvenating your energy. Keep a dream journal by your bed, or one of my new tricks is going to be something to record, since by the time I wake up, I don't remember a lot of stuff, but something to record what you dream about. This phase of our subconscious can bring very vivid dreams with symbolic messages. This dark moon phase is about setting the stage for new beginnings. Plant your seeds of intention, right? We can use this time to reflect on what we want to manifest in the new coming lunar cycle. Don't take action yet. It's just about clarifying your desires. And then cleanse and charge your magical tools, your crystals, your talismans, so, whatever it is you need to kind of clean up and get ready for the new moon phase and the waxing moon phase that is going to be coming up. In the dark moon, it's a good time to connect with the dark goddess or spirits. If you honor deities that are associated with the dark moon, such as Hecate, Lilith, offer them gratitude. Seek their guidance for transformation. And this is a great time for ancestor connections. Use the stillness of the dark moon to communicate with your ancestors or spirits, asking them for wisdom or support. All right, well, thank you guys. Oh my gosh, thank you for being here today. I am grateful for each of you. Yes, even if that sounds a little cliche, I am, to the core of my heart. You make this podcast a space for deep connection and reflection, and that is something I do not take for granted. To my fellow witches, I say this: weave gratitude into your craft. Let it guide your intentions, amplify your spells, and deepen your connection to the universe. Not because you're supposed to, but because it feels right. Because gratitude, when expressed with our hearts, is one of the most profound forms of magic that we have. Now, if you found this episode helpful or inspiring, I would love for you to share it, leave a review, or just in general support the podcast. Together, we are creating a community of gratitude that feels authentic and powerful. All right, until next time, you guys, take care of yourselves and keep the gratitude flame burning, no matter how small it is. I hope you have an amazing rest of your week and weekend, and I'll talk with you next week. Thank you for joining me today at Witchy Work Wishes, a place to find your weekly inspiration for bringing your personal witchcraft practice into your business, work, and office. For more information and additional content, please visit me online at witchyworkwishes.com. If you want to send me a personal note, please email me at info@witchyworkwishes.com. And of course, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Just search for Witchy Work Wishes.